All right. Hey, everybody. Eat, live, and be Optavia. This is Dee Corchin, and I am happy to be here with our second monthly client call. And before we go any further, I'm going to have Lauren Yeoman kick off our call. She's going to let us know the importance of our community and what you can expect tonight. So, Lauren, you ready?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. So fun to see everyone's faces and excited for tonight. So yeah, last month in February was our first client call, and we're going to start doing this the first Monday of every month. And it's just a really fun time for us to be able to get together as coaches and as clients. And just to learn tips from different coaches and get to hear from you guys too. So get to hear some inspirational stories. And tonight we're going to get to hear from Pat, who's one of our executive directors, on tips on getting unstuck. So I know for me, I've been on this journey for a long time. And so sometimes, we can get in little ruts along the way. And so getting some tips on how do we get unstuck? How do we keep moving forward towards our goals? And then we're also going to get to hear from some coaches. So we got to pick a few coaches that are going to highlight some of their clients tonight and get to hear about their stories, their transformations, and get to hear a little bit from them. So I'm really excited. And there is a chat feature. So if you click the chat feature at the bottom of your screen, you can actually type in and just kind of encourage people as they're sharing their stories. And if you have any questions or anything you want to add in on the side there. So I'm excited to get started, and I'm going to let Pat take it away and just start us off with some tips.
All right. Well, thanks so much. I'm so honored to be able to share with you guys. And I don't think it's any accident that I was asked to share on this, because even those of us who have reached our goal weight can kind of get stuck a little bit and not do all the things that we know we should. So, and I also have clients that have struggled lately with this. So it was really great to kind of relook at what to do when we do get stuck. And let me just first say that can mean two different things. One, you might be stuck in that you are doing everything right and the scale is not moving. And so what that doesn't mean is you're doing almost everything right, but the scale is not moving, because you really have to follow the plan for it to work. Sometimes at the beginning you can get away with things, and then as you go along, it might catch up with you. It also doesn't mean, gosh, I followed everything just right and I only lost a pound this week. But if you're losing, you're not stuck. That it's going in the right direction. And so just you may not be losing as fast as you would like, but it's still progress in the right direction. And so just keep doing what you're doing and really look at all the non-scale victories and the things that are going right, and appreciate that pound that came off. But if you are, you feel like you're doing everything right and the scale is just not moving for a couple weeks, then that's a different thing. And it's time to really talk to your coach, and maybe even nutrition support if you and your coach can't figure out anything. But really go back to the basics and make sure you're doing all the things that you did at the beginning. Eat all 5 of your fuelings every 2 to 3 hours. Weigh your lean and greens. You may want to cut out the snacks, the optional snack, for a little while until that scale moves again. And you need to watch the condiments. I know a lot of times I would just add spices or almond milk or PB Fit onto my brownie, and sometimes those things can add up a little bit. So if the scale's not moving, it might be time to look at that kind of stuff. Be sure you're drinking your water. If you're exercising, you might want to be sure you're not exercising too much. You really need to think about whether you're in fat burn. If you are doing everything right, but you're hungry and you don't have enough energy, if you're exercising too much, then you may have come out of fat burn. And really, you need to work with your coach and with nutrition support with all that stuff. And if you are under stress and not sleeping, that can affect it. So if you're doing everything right, just be patient and it will start moving again, and really look at your non-scale victories. Know that this plan works, and celebrate where you've come and what you've accomplished so far. And also just appreciate the, think through the mind transformation and the other ways that you're changing. This is a lifelong process. And so I know it's frustrating when the scale doesn't move for a week or two, but it's really more of a long-term transformation that we're really working for. And so that brings up the other stuck problem. It may be that it's not a matter of you're doing everything right and the scale's not moving. It may be that you just cannot stay on the plan anymore. Maybe you were doing great before the holidays, and then you got off for that, and it's just you cannot get back on where you cannot, you're not following it exactly, and you're tired of just eating, those packaged meals or whatever the problem is, or you're just too tempted, when you go to work. It's time to revisit your why. And it may be that it's the first time you're visiting your why. I don't know if you may have already gotten to the point where you're like, why do I want to lose weight? Oh, because I'm too heavy, or because I don't like the way I look, or I've got that wedding to go to that I really want to lose. And so if that's all, some of those are great reasons, I want my health. But if you haven't really thought through it, I would highly recommend, I know I read that book, The Overweight Mind, I think it was, that we had a book club a while back. And it recommended an exercise where you spend 5 to 10 minutes and you really just brainstorm and write down, what would it mean if I lost this weight? What could I do that I can't do now? What would it change in my relationships? What would it change in the activities that I could do? And really dig in to the why, and that's going to motivate you more long term. And think about those things. Have a vision board, journal. All those things are great. Start your day every morning with thinking about your goals for that day and long term, and really get that vision into your focus, and that will help. And then if it's just overwhelming, a really good thing to do is to talk to your coach and think about what you're willing to do for the next month. Maybe your long-term goal is just too overwhelming. So break it down into, what am I willing to do for these next 30 days? What is a realistic goal from now for the next 30 days? And write it down and give it to your coach. And maybe that would, help to have a smaller goal in mind, because it might just be overwhelming if you've got a long way to go. And if you feel like you've just been going for so long. And then the only other two things I would say is you might want to do another, hopefully you did a before picture. Take a picture now and look at your progress. Really look at where you've come and how much you've accomplished. And then the last thing I would say is just to connect. If you are trying to go this without, if you're on this call, then that's a good sign. But if you're trying to do this without checking in with your coach, and you're not checking into Facebook, and you're not watching these webinars, and you're just going through your normal life with your family and your friends that are not in the same mindset, it's a lot harder to do than if you feel like other people are doing this with you. So that's my tips, and hopefully that helps.
Really good, Pat. Thank you so much. I think that you did a really great job distinguishing between the different types of stuck, right? There's a plateau, which means we think we're doing everything right, but yet the scale's not moving for like 2 weeks. And then there's the mental stuck. And I think very often it's the mental. I've actually heard that about 70% of our change, whatever kind of program you're doing, it's changing our thoughts and changing the way we frame things. And I love what you said about maybe revisiting that why, digging a little deeper into why are we doing this. Or I have been working with some clients recently, and we just had to break down the goals. The big goal was so big, we just had to break it down, that maybe it was, they were going to lose 10 pounds in the next 30 days. And so they could really stay focused in order to accomplish that short term, because it seemed possible, it seemed doable. So thank you for defining that. And a quote that I just heard that I love says that If we don't change what we're thinking, we won't change what goes in our mouth. So really good point about connecting here, working with your coach, and using all the core components of Optavia, because they are what elevate and support the eating plan and what helps us follow it. So thank you for that. We do have some incredible client stories to share with you, and some of our executive director coaches are going to interview their clients, and we get the opportunity first to listen to Courtney Colcourt, who's going to interview one of her clients. So Courtney, I'll let you go ahead and then let your guest unmute herself. You're still muted at the moment. I can unmute you.
Is it working?
No, there you are. Just talk loud.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now? Are we in the cell commercial? Testing. Claire, are you there?
I'm here.
Yay. Okay. This is my awesome client, Claire, and also she's my aunt. So that makes it extra fun. But she just started her journey, what, Claire, about 5 or 6? No, it's a couple months.
I'm in my 6th week.
6 weeks. Okay. Awesome. And would you mind just sharing a little bit about your journey with us? Oh, did I do that? Or did somebody else do that? Oh, Nancy, are we on Nancy's screen?
I see you.
Okay. I see Nancy's screen. I'm not sure how I did that. Sorry, Nancy, if I'm not supposed to see that. Okay, well, I will just ask you a couple of questions, if that's okay with you.
Yep.
How is Optavia different than anything that you've ever done before?
Well, I have to say that I've probably tried every program. I've got every cookbook in my closet. I have a good friend that we joke a lot about, how many times have we started Weight Watchers, and are you going again, and that type of thing. And the reason that I took a leap with Optavia was my family. I was seeing the transformations of my sister and her husband, and then her sons, and then their wives, Courtney being one, and was just so impressed with their dedication and, their ability to stick with something that was very structured, which kind of scared me at first. But I really just saw it as, maybe just an opportunity, I might as well, give it a shot. So
Yeah.
when I signed up, I was really nervous because I was scared I wasn't going to be able to stick with it. I just thought I've done so many that I haven't been successful with, that I was second guessing myself, but then jumped in with both feet, and I've lost 23 pounds in the 6 weeks, that I've been apart, which, that those early losses, of course, are very motivating. So, and now people are starting to, ask me questions, and, I've, taken some names. I'm going to pass them on to Courtney. And so anyway, I just think it's just a program that I'm excited about, and, would love to share, my success. I think the piece that makes Optavia different is the support that I've received from my coach. That first week, she called me every day, and, continually, touches base with me to see how I'm doing. And, I can call her and have asked her questions as well. So I do think that is the one piece that sets it apart from any other program that I've been a part of.
I love that. That was huge for me too. I'll still go to Meg with all of my health coaching and health needs. She can't get rid of me at this point. And you also travel a lot for work, so that could be, challenging, or it could be, a win to not be in your regular environment. Might be helpful. What's your experience trying to stay on plan and traveling so much for work?
Well, at first it was like, oh boy, here we go. And I laid out all my fuelings, like on the counter, and took a picture of it and sent it to some of my colleagues. And I said, well, this is what I'm having this week. So, anyway, the first week that I had everything there, I laid it all out on the bed in the hotel, and I realized I forgot a whisk and a tablespoon. So it was a little challenging that first week. So now I've got this little bag that I take with me, and it has, like this little mini whisk that I can whisk up some of the fuelings, and my tablespoon so that I can measure things out. So I don't have to do that guessing. But I have found that when I'm traveling, it seems to be easier than when I'm at home. I don't have, as many choices, and I don't have my kitchen to see what I could substitute or, add, or, just too many options at home. So anyway, I have found that the structure of it has worked really well for me.
I love that.
There was a situation one time, I shared this with Courtney. It was in my first couple of weeks, and I was in Miami, and they put me in I was in a terminal where it was all international flights, and I was there really, really early, and I was a little stressed because no one else spoke English, and I was thinking, I'm not in the right place. Anyway, I just couldn't imagine eating another bar at that point, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going off the program. I'm nervous, but anyway, I found this little kiosk that had salads, and I was able to eat a salad and tuna, and I felt guilty about it at first, and then I thought, shoot, I could be eating a hamburger and French fries if I was going to go off of it. So I guess by cheating a little bit and having 2 lean and greens that day, it didn't impact me at all. But anyway, I was able to get through that little stressful experience by doing what I thought I needed to do.
Yeah, I love that. I remember you calling me like, oh, I did a thing. I had 2 salads. And I was like, yeah, there's a lot worse things that could have happened than 2 salads.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
Yeah, that is awesome. Thank you, Claire. I mean, what an incredible story. 26 pounds in 6 weeks. That's something that I think that we are all in awe of. So well done, and you're obviously doing really well incorporating it into your busy life. So thanks for showing us what's possible, and Courtney, thanks for bringing your amazing client to this call.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Claire.
Thanks.
All right, next up we have Shauna Davis. Shauna and her husband Frank help a lot of clients, and they are she's got a couple that she is working with that are going to share with us. So go ahead, Shauna.
Okay. Hey, everyone. So glad to see y'all here. I'm going to introduce to you guys Mark and Kathy Whiting. We've known them for about 15 years. Precious friends that were neighbors of ours in Georgia. And they have been on programs since October 4th, have done really well as a couple together. And Kathy is a college professor, and she is the author of a Human Anatomy and Physiology lab manual. She's brilliant. And Mark has over 22 years in the ministry, is, I think, dabbling in real estate right now, and they're just a phenomenal couple. And so I just want to introduce them to you, and they can share with you a little bit about, I don't know how much weight they've lost altogether today, but they can share that with you. Mark and Kathy? And I have a couple of questions for you when you unmute yourself. Oh, Dee, I think, yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go.
Okay. Well, I thought it was, so you can hear us now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Awesome. We've been on program since October the 4th, and combined, we've lost, I guess, about 75 pounds combined between the two of us. So we're, and that was after weathering the holidays. So we started and then had Thanksgiving and Christmas to get through, and with the old mindset of what we deserved and what we had earned and everything else. And so we weathered that, and Kathy has been done a little better getting back on task since the holidays than I have, but I have over the last couple of weeks been doing better as well. And I have been focusing on the why, and my why is health. I think losing weight is a goal, but the overriding goal is health. I've been on a type 2 diabetic, and so I'm just real pleased that already I'm down 40% on my insulin. It's already down 40% from where I was at when I started. So I'm focusing on the health aspect of it as opposed to just being letting the weight just be the only goal.
Okay. So I'd like to ask you guys a couple of questions if I can. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So what the first one is, how has your decision to get healthy positively impacted the people in your life?
Well, one of the ways it's positively impacted, of course, we encourage each other, of course, but we have 2 sons at home, and between the 2 of them, they started at the first of the year and have got on track with us, and we've just been ordering more on ours and getting them started on it as well. But they've lost actually about 40 pounds between them since the first of the year, and so both needed to lose a little weight, and so it's been a very positive impact on them.
Wow, that's amazing. So what Kathy, I know that we talked a little bit about this the other day, but what has surprised you the most about this program so far?
I think there's 2 things really. One of them is just, once I made my mind up how simple it was, because everything was just laid out. And so you just, you have your fueling set out and you plan your one meal and you're ready to go. And it wasn't hard, especially that first week talking to you every day. I just knew exactly what I was going to do every day. And I've like the previous lady was talking about, I've been on so many different diets and failed, and I was really scared of that failure again. And so I think the ease of which it was just follow the plan and lose the weight, just that simple. So that aspect of it. And the other thing was that Mark and he actually sat down, and at first we were just a little stressed out about the money. And a few weeks ago he sat down and he calculated what we were not spending eating out and on the grocery bill, and found that we were doing the plan together for less than $100 a month when you took out all that extra food that we used to eat.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, my last question for you is, both of you, maybe if you can just throw out a few adjectives that describe how you felt about your life and your health before you started this program.
I felt defeated.
Okay.
I was fat and happy. And now I'm just not as fat and happy. No, I'm easygoing. I wouldn't have put as much pressure on me as Kathy has, but I needed that. I needed the pressure she put on it. I was not. When we first started, it was more about her encouragement. We're going to do this, as opposed to me saying, "Let's do this." So, so I was not. I knew I needed to lose some weight, but it wasn't a big issue for me beforehand. To be honest with you.
Good.
I was also exhausted all the time.
Yeah.
And I have a lot more energy.
Yeah. Good stuff. I like that.
Well, awesome. Thank you, you guys, Mark and Kathy. Let me just mute here. Incredible, from defeated and exhausted to these kind of incredible results, Kathy. And then Mark, even if you weren't totally into it, what you've been able to accomplish, and then seeing those results show up in your, in your diabetes improvement. I mean, that's what this is all about. So now you're just happy and healthy, which is amazing. And having that secondhand effect into your boys is that's what this is about. We got to make it bigger than ourselves and share with the people around us. So thanks for doing that. Well, thank you, Shauna. Great story. And then next up, we have Tyler and Myrna, who are going to interview one of their clients and coaches for us. So I'll let you guys unmute and take over.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, good evening. So I will be interviewing Jane. Jane is one of my former coworkers. We taught together, I think, about 2 years ago. And she started the program, I'm pretty sure back in November. And I will let her go ahead and unmute herself, and she can tell you a little bit more. First question, Jane, is what are a few adjectives that you would use to describe your life before Optavia?
Hi. I would say that I was definitely frustrated and discouraged because for the 7-ish years that I've been working, I kept myself pretty busy and I just steadily gained a lot of weight. When I kind of think back to it, I think it adds up to about 70 pounds, and I developed some unhealthy habits. And so like my last spring, summer was like my hardest time. My biggest size was fitting snugly. I have like 4 sizes spanned across in my closet because like with the weight gain, I just kept buying myself new clothes, and now it was like I was pushing that larger size to where I was pushing into like plus size clothing, and I was always tired. My feet, my knees were aching, and I knew something had to be done, but I've tried different things, as many people have said, and I mean, I lost like 20 pounds before this program on my own, but I was very stuck. After I got, started with the new school year and life got busy again, I just didn't really have much going for me, and that's when I reached out to Myrna. So definitely frustrated, discouraged, lacking self-confidence, and not really feeling comfortable in my own skin.
So what's your experience been like so far since you've started?
I mean, I tell people it's the best decision I've ever made for myself because like for me, my biggest why was I wanted to give myself the best version of me before, like in my 20s. So I'm turning 29 this month, but I feel like I'm really getting there because I started November 1st, and now I didn't tell Myrna this yet, but my initial goal weight was 50 pounds, and I'm just a little shy of a pound to that. I'm like 49.2 pounds right now, lost November 1st. Other than that, I have more energy. I don't have any aches. I feel like my skin's cleared up a lot because I still have a lot of breakouts. My confidence is like bursting. And it's just been the best thing I've ever done for myself.
Wow. So what would you say you love most about Optavia?
I mean, many people have mentioned this like before me already, but it's just easy to follow and structured because I'm still keeping myself pretty busy. But as long as I stick to it, I see that I get results. And for other people too, I mean, the results look different for other people, but everybody's seeing results as long as they stick to the plan. And other people ask me like, what are the micros? What are the macros? I don't know what those are. I don't, think about those. It's just there for me to follow. And I like that it's based on healthy habits and like changing your lifestyle so that I know that once I get to my new goal weight, because I'm going to push towards, push myself further, that there's a plan for me to maintain my loss and just live that lifelong, transformation. And now I'm also paying it forward to others as a coach. So like really being a part of other people's journey and seeing their joy has been really a rewarding experience.
Thank you so much, Jane. We're super excited about your journey, and it's amazing to see how you like light up. Y'all, you should see her Facebook page. She's super consistent with like sharing her journey and paying it forward. And so thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing.
Thank you, Myrna.
Yes, thank you. Jane, I mean, actually all of our guests, Claire and Mark and Kathy and Jane, if you would maybe share your before picture and your current picture in our client group, let everybody kind of, because we feel your story, but we can see that transformation. Jane, I have seen that. Yours, and it's just, I mean, the glow in your face, it's just, you just look younger and so much more vibrant. So thank you for sharing that. And it was so cool what you said when people say, well, what are the macros? And that's just something you don't need to worry about. When you have a plan that's developed, clinically studied, safe, healthy, you don't have to worry about those details. Just you stick with your busy life and, whatever. So thank you for stepping into coaching and taking what you're learning and paying it forward. And that's just going to pay such dividends to you in so many ways. So thank you guys, everyone, for tuning in on this call. And at some point, your coach has likely offered to you the opportunity to explore what coaching can look like. And that's simply it. It's just an opportunity to explore it and see what the benefits could be. And that's why every executive director, every client, every coach that spoke was a client first and then decided to pay it forward and share. So right after this call, we're going to roll right into it. We actually do our coach call on Monday nights at 7:30. You are welcome to stay on, just take a peek into our world, just be a fly on the wall. Tonight is a super fun call because we are celebrating coaches that had great success the month before by helping people in the month of February. So I'm going to stop the recording on this and then restart for our coach call in just a minute. But thank you for being here, and please stay on if you'd like to take a look.